Well, battle lines have been set. Parties are warming up for the next year's federal election. We don't know when it's going to be, but the big promises are going to be made, and we're hearing stronger election lingo every single day. So to break down the language for us, I'm joined by our resident wordsmith, Kel Richards from Sydney. Kel, great to have you on. Whether it's set to an agenda or to undermine another party, language is one of the most powerful tools politicians have up their sleeve.
Oh,
take us
Cory,
through
my
some
old
of
friend,
the election words that we're going to hear.
Yeah, okay. Look, one of the words you'll hear, one of the expressions is pork barrel. Everyone's accused, governments are accused of pork barrelling. I mean, there is the picture, the image is of 19th century America and a congressman standing at the front of a polling place with a barrel of salted pork, which he's handing out to voters to get their vote. Never actually happened ever. It was in a story, a short story by Edward Everett Hart, published in 1863. So it's only ever a piece of fiction. But 10 years later, 1873, a newspaper started using it as the expression for government payment to kind of win votes. So pork barrelling never actually happened, but it gave us the expression, which is rather nice. Can I pick up on the word calithumpian? We tend to think of this as being a joke word. You know, what religion are you, mate? Presbyterian? No, I'm calithumpian. But in fact, it's an election word. Born in America, again in the 19th century, and there used to be gangs of people who were hired to go around to election meetings and disrupt them, beating drums, making noises, blowing trumpets. They were like the original renter crowd, the first renter crowd, I suppose. And because of the thumping noises they made, they were called calithumpians. That's where the word comes from. Now, I was given the task of explaining gerrymander. What actually happens is when electoral boundaries are redrawn, sometimes, if it's done dishonestly, all of the booths likely to vote for one party are stuck into one electorate, so that someone's elected there for that party with a massive majority, instead of them being spread around all the electorates, where they'd probably win more seats by smaller majorities. In other words, a funny-shaped sort of electoral distribution. It happened, again in America, a lot of these expressions come from there, and it was done in Massachusetts, in the state of Massachusetts. They drew up a new set of electoral boundaries, and someone pointed out that one of them was so strange, it wound around the electorate. It looked like, he said, a kind of lizard called a salamander, but it was signed off on by the governor, Elridge Gerry. So it can't be a salamander, it must be a gerrymander. And the name of that Massachusetts governor lives on in the expression gerrymander. One quick other one, bellwether. Bellwether means a leader, so they often talk about bellwether seats. Eden Monaro is often called a bellwether seat. You know, the way Eden Monaro goes is the way the rest of the electorate will go. Bellwether means leader because it originally applied to sheep, and the sheep which tended to lead the flock had a bell hung around its neck. It was the bellwether, so that the farmer could know where they were. And the word wether, by the way, is always applied, was applied, still is by sheep farmers, to a particular sort of sheep, a ram which has been castrated. The word wether is related to our word wither, and I suppose they are withered a bit. Anyway, they were the original bellwethers, and now it's applied to particular electoral seats. So there you are. There's a rattle through some fairly common sort of electoral language for you, Cory.
Well, Kel, you've covered sheep, lizard-type things and noisy thumping rumpers. It all seems very appropriate for politics.